Okay, I'm going to try and come across a bit philosophical here. We've all experienced these moments in life, right? Moments that stick with us, that challenge us, that push us further than we've ever gone before. Maybe it was learning to ride a bike, earning a new high score, driving a car for the first time, building your first mechanical keyboard, or even realizing that folding is far superior to scrunching. Wait, what the? Anyway, I knew this day would come eventually, the day where I'd have to take that leap of faith away from hot swap keyboards. Today, I'm learning how to solder. So yeah, where do I start?
If you're looking to start, you can start with a super basic iron.
Several days later.
Okay, it's been a few days, but all the equipment has finally arrived. I've picked up a soldering iron, some leaded solder, a solder sucker, a 60% PCB, and this little copper scoury thingy used to clean the iron. I've watched a ton of videos and I'm feeling pretty confident, so I thought I'd jump straight in.
Rev up the Bugatti.
Yeah, so actually it's a lot harder than it looks in the videos. The smell while soldering is a little bit funky, probably shouldn't be inhaling that, and I may have burnt the PCB just a teeny bit, but honestly, how bad could it possibly be? Uh-huh. Oh, okay, yeah, that seems to be a problem.
Huh? What happened to Q? It was working before.
Okay, it's all done. A few keys still aren't working, but honestly, it's no big deal. It's not like they're important anyway. Maybe, just maybe, they were more important than I thought. But why exactly am I learning how to solder in the first place? Well, this is the answer. The Lambda.60 is a 60% gasket O-ring keyboard with a 6.5 degree typing angle designed here in Australia by Eden Foundry. Currently, the Lambda is still in the design phase, however, so far you will have the option of WinKey, WinKeyless and HHKB layouts with the choice of 3 colorways, brown, silver blue and malachite. Alongside the colors you will also have the option of 2 weights, being PVD brass or copper. The unit I have here today is the WinKey version in the malachite colorway with the copper weight, and I have to say this keyboard is simply beautiful. Included in the case are the long and short O-ring options, a plate of your choice, a Heine H60 PCB, a fly daughter board, and 4 screws which hold the keyboard together. Now, I've been told this group buy is intentionally going to be small to maximize quality while minimizing the group buy waiting period, something that these days I'm more than happy to get behind. Pricing hasn't been confirmed just as of yet, however I had a chat with Eden Foundry and they said 350 to 400 USD depending on the minimum order quantity. So with this being my first soldered build, I really wanted to reel it in and create a baseline for the sound. For that reason, I'll be choosing the matching anodized alu plate with Cherry MX Hyperglide blacks that I've spring swapped for 67 gram springs and lubed with GHV4. I'm hoping this will create that default MX on alu sound that a lot of you are used to, so that you can focus in on the acoustics of the keyboard itself.
Oh my god, what is that? Oh my god! What is that?
Oh, and I ran out of stabs, so that's a TX, that's a KBD fans, and those are 2 Duroc V2s. Trust me, I understand how cursed that is.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
The Lambda.60 uses a gasket O-ring mounting style very reminiscent of the Geonworks F18X. Personally, I didn't know this mounting style existed, and I initially struggled with it a bit. However, once you understand it, it's really not that complicated. The PCB is simply placed into the bottom case with these tabs used for alignment. Once seated, either use the long or short O-rings to lift the plate up and create a nice bouncy cushion for the PCB and plate. The longer O-rings provide a more stable, stiff experience, while the shorter O-rings create a flexible, bouncy one. And one note on that too, the shorter O-rings are designed for the PC plate as it only has 4 tabs, but for this build I will be using the longer O-rings. The case is a 2-piece assembly design. Simply secure the additional O-rings into the top case and push the pieces together. You'll be able to feel if it's correctly in place, as there'll be no unusual movement or shifting. To finish this build off, I'll be using good old reliable GMK white on black. But how does it sound? Honestly, I think that sounded great. The enter key was pretty bad, but I found out that was actually my fault with the stabilizer. And because I needed to learn how to desolder switches anyway, here's a second sound test. This time I'm using the Anya switches with some XMI keycaps. Overall, I think this keyboard does a fantastic job in both its sound and design. The mounting style, while used in the F18X, is still incredibly unique and it allows for multiple levels of flex. You have options out the wazoo with its soldered PCB, as well as case options for WinKey, WinKeyless, and HHKB. In my opinion, this is everything a 60% enjoyer would want, and adding this keyboard to your collection would definitely not go unnoticed. The design of the case, including its color options and weight, has obviously been thoroughly considered, and the only negative I can draw out of this process is how tedious it is to put together compared to other keyboards. However, the average person isn't disassembling and reassembling multiple times, so that's more on my end. If you're interested in the Lambda.60, I'd highly recommend joining Eden Foundry's Discord for the latest updates on news as the keyboard goes into the group buy phase. Links to their Discord will be in the description below, along with sound tests from other Australian creators, all of which sound much better than mine. That's definitely an audio issue on my part. I'm a professional keyboard builder. Duh. In conclusion, the soldering process has been enlightening. While not necessarily difficult, it does take some practice to get used to, but I'm happy with the result. I can say I've learned a new skill and put that skill into conceivable practice with the Lambda and this video. Is my soldering the best? No, it's probably closest to the worst soldering job ever done, but it got me where I needed to be, and it's only going to get easier from here. If you've thought about soldering but have been put off by the convenience of hot swap keyboards, I'd really recommend going ahead and giving it a shot. I mean, seriously, if I can do it, you bet you can. And aside from learning a new skill, it honestly just opens up the keyboard hobby even further. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate you giving it a like, and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Have a great day.